Hey everyone, I'm Sophia with Awaken Catholic, and this is Awaken the Saint. Today's saints share many things. Saints Ewald the Black and Ewald the Fair not only shared names, but also their vocation as priests, companions, and martyrdom during the 7th century. Like many of that time period, they received their religious education in Ireland, where they both grew in faith and holiness. While in Ireland, they became acquainted with Saint Willibrord, the Apostle of Friesland. Willibrord's passion for the conversion of the German people inspired the men to pursue their own mission work. Around the year 690, Ewald the Black and Ewald the Fair set out on their own mission together to convert the people of Old Saxony. In those days, the Saxons had no king. They were a pagan people whose lands were ruled by several ealdormans or earls, who shared equal power over their regions. When both Ewalds arrived in northwestern part of Old Saxony, they stayed with a certain steward to one of the earls, who entertained them for several days, promising to introduce them to the chieftain. In the meantime, the two offered daily prayers, sang psalms, and offered the sacrifice of the Mass. Some of the pagans who had observed the priests closely and started to become a little afraid that the missionaries would convert their earls, destroy their temples, and overthrow their religion. Out of fear and rage, they devised a plot to kill them both. An uprising quickly broke out, and the two priests were seized by the angry mob. Ewald the Fair was killed quickly with the sword, but Ewald the Black was tortured before meeting his fatal end. Both of their bodies were then discarded into the River Rhine. The place of their martyrdom became known as Applerbeck in the modern district of Dortmund. A chapel and monument stand to commemorate the sacrifice of these two martyrs. According to sources from that time, miracles began happening immediately following their death. The first was a vision of one of the martyrs appearing to the former companion, who was instructed on where to find their remains. And upon finding the two martyrs in the river, it was said a heavenly light, like a column of fire, was seen shining above them. Today, the two Ewalds are honored as patrons of Westphalia, Germany. The Saxons were eventually converted to Christianity in the 8th century under the reign of Charlemagne. It may seem for those two saints that their story ended before it really had a chance to begin, but it was because of their courage in an unknown world where the natives didn't understand their message that God was able to plant His good news in their hearts and create a ripple effect later on. May we all embrace the needed courage and bravery when facing the dangers of this world, that we may trust fully in God's plan and let Him work where we cannot. Saints Ewald the Black and Ewald the Fair, pray for us.
Thank you for tuning in to Awaken the Saint. Awaken the Saint is a 3-minute daily show that unpacks the lives of the saints with practical messages for everyday life. Awaken the Saint is made in partnership by Spoke Street Media and Awaken Catholic. Spoke Street Media's mission is to amplify the voice of the Creator by fostering content that invites. We want to spread the message of the gospel and the love of God through media. Visit spokestreet.com.